Hi guys, and welcome to this great episode of the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast featuring the world famous DJ Rob the Bank. Oh my God, it was great sitting and chatting to this guy, as you're about to hear. We did it online, as I used to do most of my stuff, but we're having a serious problem with our internet at the moment, which is we're trying to figure out at the moment. We're trying to fix it to get super fast, broadband like everybody else. There's a few forks in the road before we can get there. But the audio sounds fantastic. We'll get that video to you as soon as we can. It was great chatting to Rob. Camp Bestival is going to be such an amazing experience. We've set some missions up for Verity, and also as well, if you're going to be at Camp Bestival, we'd love to keep it up to date with what you guys are going to be doing. If you're going to Bestival, we're going to set up a thread where you guys can share your experiences at the time. And, at the bottom of this episode, I'm going to leave a link so you can go and buy your own tickets and meet us there. Well, meet Verity there. I'm not going to be there. I'll be in Turkey, and you'll hear all about that in this episode. I want to say thank you as well to the guys from Chantilly Grey, event coordinators, invited us to a steampunk cabaret night last night. As you're hearing this, it was on Friday night. This weekend just passed. It was fantastic. When somebody says steampunk cabaret to you, you never know what to expect. I definitely did not. They give me and my wife. I took Kaz. Verity was busy. I took Kaz. And we wore steampunk hats. We got involved. Everybody was so stunningly dressed. The entertainment was absolutely fantastic. We had an amazing time at St. Mary's. So thank you so much to Chantilly Grey for inviting us. Now, what happened with that was I had organised to interview all of the acts after the performances. And we had a babysitter till sort of 10 o'clock. And I thought it was going to be over and done with. I didn't pay attention to the schedule. And I thought it was going to be over by sort of like 9:30, do some interviews, skip out, go and get the kid, right? And it went on till a bit after that. So I had to go. I didn't get any interviews. So I sat and enjoyed the entertainment and didn't get any interviews. But I spoke to the artists that performed, and I agreed that what we would do is organise an online chat with me, the guys from Chantilly Grey, the artists that took part at the great event at the weekend, and we would talk about it and what they do, because I think that'd be really, really good to we can share videos and visuals that way and take a look at the world of steampunk and the performances that they do, because I swear to God, the performances were just out of this world, honestly. That you got that to look forward to. Anyway, I'm not going to chat too much. I'm going to let you enjoy this fantastic episode featuring the one, the only, Rob the Bank. Hey guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm Alex Whiteley, and I've got my co-host Verity with me today. You all right, Verity?
I am all right, thanks. How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. It's been a very busy week, but hey, it's Easter weekend. We can sit and relax a little bit. And the best thing about this weekend is the sun is starting to come out. It's starting to look really great here in the UK. And what does that mean?
Oh, it's glorious.
It's a reminder that festival season is going, and festival season is great. And today we got not only one of the greatest DJs that's come from the UK, but one of the biggest contributors to festivals here in the UK, Mr. Rob the Bank. Thank you so much for joining us on the Biscuit today, Rob.
Wow, that's some intro. I'm not sure I quite deserve that, but thank you, Alex.
Definitely do. I was talking to Verity before you came in, and I was saying that I feel like you are part of one of the greatest eras of Radio 1. Definitely for me personally, because I feel like it was an era of radio that encouraged me and made me want to sit behind a microphone, for sure. Especially, with the Chris Moyles and the Joe Wiley and that whole collective. It did amazing things for Radio 1, didn't it?
It was a golden era, and I know I sound like a middle-aged 50-year-old man, which I am, reminiscing about the good old days. But I mean, it was such a privilege to be in those studios, alongside, well, on the one hand, the breakfast guys like Chris Moyles and Sarah Cox and Zoe Ball, and then on the other side of the office you had Giles Peterson, Marianne Hobbs, John Peel, the late great John Peel, Fabio and Groove Rider, Bobbin Nahal, Chris Goldfinger, some of the most amazing specialist DJs in the world. So it was pretty surreal at times, and I think it's fair to say that everyone in that group of people kind of crapped themselves when it got to the Christmas party, because we were all so sort of nervous of each other, even after 10 years in the same building. Everyone was too scared to speak to John Peel, and then Annie Nightingale was over there, and it was just like, it was amazing.
I imagine.
I'd have loved to have been at one of those Christmas parties.
Me too.
We all got merry quite quickly, because, like I say, I don't know what it was, but all these superstar DJs that, I don't mean the specialist guys, but even the big names, they'd creep in and they'd be so kind of modest and nervous. So but it ended up always being fun.
Do you guys do many reunions? Do you get together and like, hey, it's you, haven't seen you in a while? What's that like, if you do?
I mean, I'm still obviously friends with Giles Peterson and a lot of those specialist guys, and then I book a lot of them for the festivals. Sarah Cox is obviously a Camp Bestival stalwart who's there every year. So yeah, it's lovely to see them. A couple of times a year. Annie Mac's a good mate. So but no, I don't think there's a big reunion that I'm not aware of. Maybe there is, and I'm just not invited.
Maybe we should.
Maybe you need to organise it, make it happen.
I should, but I know that it would be super awkward.
Do you remember the time you? What about the time you went?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What happened in Radio 1 stays in Radio 1.
I imagine. Let's talk about you. Where do you hail from, Rob?
I hail from the south coast, in between Southampton and Portsmouth. So I was born in Pompey, but I'm a Southampton fan, which doesn't go down well with the Pompey crew. But I grew up in a tiny village in the middle of nowhere, really, playing in my dad's brass band and going sailing. So it wasn't really a very rock and roll upbringing, but something clicked somewhere. What
instrument did you play in the brass band?
The trombone.
That's my instrument. I play that.
Fellow trombonists. Yeah, my dad still plays it. So good. Great instrument.
I don't play any instrument. Agree. I enjoy music, and I can tell people how good it is. I'm terrible with. I've got so much rhythm in me, but I can't put that onto anything, which is.
You'll have to leave the podcast, Alex. This is for trombonists only.
I'm very sorry.
I'm not really a practicing trombonist anymore, to be fair. I don't play very often.
I've got a rusty one in the corner, but it's not regularly brought out.
Should I bring it to Camp Bestival? Should we duet with it?
We welcome wandering minstrel type trombonists. So yeah. Absolutely.
So if you're going to go to Bestival, Verity, you've got to take your trombone with you at all times. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh no! What have I done? Why have I said this?
The entry for all trombonists.
I think we're down to open one of the literature stages. So I think what you got to do, Verity, is do a trombone solo on the stage.
I think I could just about manage Twinkle Twinkle these days. So if that's all right, I'll do it.
Well, from small town though, how do you get yourself out there as a DJ? And he's like living in a small town where you were kind of like the catalyst for that. Do you need to get out of a sleepy town to put your mark upon the world? How does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up thinking, I must be a DJ or I must run festivals or something. That was all just sort of happy accidents that happened along the way. So, I mean, yeah, we went clubbing in Southampton, and I used to be the kind of guy that would be in charge of the music at the beach parties that I'd sort of promote. I'd make these little handmade flyers at the sort of age of 15 and invite all my mates to to beach parties. I'd have a cassette player that I'd made dodgy mixtapes on, and so I suppose that was the start of it. And I did like, being not the centre of attention, but the musical person who brought it all together and kind of made the party go off, hopefully. So yeah, I kind of always liked that in a quiet way, and maybe that was sort of planting the seed. And then I got a set of decks when I was 16. This is obviously in the days before MP3s or Spotify or anything. So if you were going to be a DJ, you needed vinyl decks. So spent a while learning how to use those. Still learning now, and got my first gig, I think, at the Rhino Club in Southampton in the 90s. Then moved to London, and rave was exploding, and drum and bass and everything, and the rest sort of just rolled out from there.
Yeah, you were right there at the time when that kind of music kind of just exploded. You're right. It's what a privilege to see that happen whilst inside that industry. It must have been great for you. Did it happen too quickly at times? Did it happen? Were you surprised by a lot of what was happening, how quick it was moving for you, or were you sort of happy about it?
Yeah, all of those things. I sort of, I've always liked doing a lot of different things. So very quickly after I left university, then I was a barman, I was DJing, I was running a club. I then got asked to do a show on Radio 1. I was DJing around the world. I was working at a music magazine. I was clubs editor for that. So, it was fairly a bit of a maelstrom of stuff. I'd be like whizzing up and down the motorways going to write about Clubland in the UK, which was, just the hugest scene, like Gatecrasher, God's Kitchen, all these sort of cheesy clubs, Cream, and not Cream's not cheesy, but so absolutely amazing seeing the whole super club explosion as a music journalist, and then also going to like South America and DJing at 5 a.m. as the sun was coming up, and then running the record label, starting, and then by the time I'd got to 30, me and Josie had started Bestival. So yeah, the 20s were pretty insane. It went from sort of 0 to 100 quite quickly. From sort of 21 to 30, I was just and then slowed down a bit, tiny bit.
That sounds incredible. What a way to spend your 20s.
Yeah, it was good. Now that I'm just about to hit 50, I am definitely trying to piece it all together and see what I did and all the bits that I forgot. But
yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it. I imagine, I don't know, I guess you can liken, I don't know how that works actually. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Liken a DJ to like a stand-up comedian in a way that you are the focal point of the entertainment that people are coming to see. You're on stage, you are directing things as they go as far as the music is concerned, down to the RPM, how people are feeling, how their heart's point. How easy is it to sort of, can you like bomb on stage? Have that happened to you before?
Yeah, definitely. I can't remember any. Well, yeah, actually, I remember one New Year's Eve. We're promoting a big Sunday Best party, probably a couple of thousand people in King's Cross in a sort of warehouse space, and it was still vinyl records at that point. And I remember playing a Sasha record. I think it was Expander. And it was getting near midnight, and the record, the needle, for anyone under the age of 40, they won't know what I'm talking about, but the record needle got so much fluff on it, it just went straight across the record. And this did happen in clubs because, someone would nudge the decks or, and so it wasn't like technology where you could just rely on the digital signal. It was if the analog signal of your needle fell off, then you stood there with an empty, in a total silent room of everyone jeering you. So I picked up the record and flung it out into the audience as a sort of like, oh, well, had enough of that one. And about 5 a.m, a girl came up to me with blood on her forehead and said, you smashed me right in the face with that record. No. And I had to give her some Bestival tickets to calm her down because she was threatening to sue me or something. But yeah, so, I think I could read a crowd pretty well and always had enough tunes to change direction. But yeah, you have peaks and troughs and lulls, and I'm not a very showy DJ. I'm not Fatboy Slim who looks very at ease, jumping up and down barefooted and loving it. I'm quite a shy DJ, so I like the dark, sweaty clubs where the DJ's in the corner.
A picture of it, I don't know if this is from last year. You're literally DJing at the back of a car. But it looks at the top of a car there. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's in Caravanserai, this venue from Camp Bestival. That's actually a hearse that was stood in.
Wow. Yeah. You say I've literally DJ'd at the back of a hearse, guys. Yeah, that's one of the coolest venues anywhere. It's such a brilliant one. That will be at Camp Bestival.
Where did you say it was?
Well, it's at Camp Bestival. So we've got a venue called Caravanserai, which was created by these amazing guys, Pete and Chris Tofu, with my wife Josie, and it's actually going to be popping up at the Brighton Fringe if any of your listeners are heading south at any point in May. But apart from that, the only two places you can see it are at Camp Bestival's Dorset in Shropshire. So it's everyone's favourite secret venue. It only fits about 500 people, but it's amazing.
Very exclusive. I like that.
Yeah.
What is that? Is the back of a hearse the most unique place you've DJ'd then? Is there anywhere that tops that?
I mean, it's fairly fairly unique in an oddball way. I mean, I've DJ'd. We did some parties in Ibiza in the early 90s, Sunday best parties on cliff tops and on little hidden away beaches and stuff. Those were probably one of my favourite ones in terms of location. And they were free parties, and they were pretty much the last free parties that happened in Ibiza. We sort of ruined it for everyone else. It was when they were starting to clamp down on things. We managed to do about 5 in a row, and then it was beautiful, like with people like Milo and Groove Armada and 07. So that sort of, when chill out was not a dirty word, and it was like a real explosion. So those were good times.
I imagine the end of the Ibiza season is just people just like absolutely mullered, just like just trying to get out, trying to survive one more day. Yeah. I mean, luckily for us, the parties we were doing was sort of because you had the big super clubs out there, but we were doing a much more niche thing for I wouldn't say a cooler audience, because that's a bit fascist of me, but it was sort of a slightly older, more chilled out crowd. So I mean, Ibiza's got those two sides to it: the total in your face, garish, full onness, and then the absolutely beautiful sort of hippier side of it. So yeah, love Ibiza. I never got to. Did you go to Ibiza, Verity?
I went on a family holiday, so it wasn't like, but I would have been more attracted to that hippier side. We went to Cafe Del Mar for like the sunset, when the sun hits the sea and the music goes. That was magical. I loved that.
Yeah, that was probably up there with one of my all-time, ticking off the bucket list. I did the sunset at Cafe Del Mar once when it was in its real heyday, and DJ'd the sunset, and the tension and sort of fear in a DJ of trying to get that just as the sun disappears, like you said, Verity, and sort of playing something.
I mean, it's how it's done, because you have to be so precise with it, and it genuinely felt like a magical moment. Like with the atmosphere, the music, the sun. It was awesome. So I can get why that's a bucket list moment for you. It's wicked. Yeah.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah. I never got to do it. Ibiza. Never got to do it. But there's still a bit of youth left in me. Maybe when we one year we'll be like, well, I've got to leave the kids here. We're going to go to Ibiza. Laters, come back an absolute mess. When you're walking through the doors of Radio 1 for the first time, what is like going through your head? I mean, you've done all these clubs, you've done these parties. You know your own skills as a DJ, but now you're in a room with some of the biggest DJs in the world. How's that feel for you?
I mean, it was total imposter syndrome for 12 years, and I really mean that. Even up until my last show, I sort of was pinching myself, thinking they are going to like discover who I really am at some point and realise they've made a massive mistake. So, I'd never been I've been like a guest on one show on Kiss FM before I went to do my pilot for Radio 1, and they wanted, because of my Sunday Best Club, this whole sort of Balearic chill out kind of wave was really happening in the UK, and they wanted that kind of music on very early mornings on Saturday for sort of clubbers coming down, if you will. And so I got a call through my manager, or I can't remember how it happened, and he said, yeah, Radio 1 want you to go in and do a pilot. I was like, no, surely not me. And then I went in, and me and Chris Coco were sort of, they did, I think they auditioned quite a few people, and then me and Chris Coco were the last ones left, so they gave us half the show each kind of thing. And then it was absolutely insane. Totally crap myself for the first few years, then kind of got more into it. Got stand-in for the late great John Peel, who then sadly passed away while he was away, and I then then got asked to do John's show for a few months while they found a replacement. So that was just totally insane. You know, a few years after being at Radio 1, suddenly sitting there flicking through John Peel's record boxes with all his annotated notes on each record, and he was so precise and encyclopedic. He'd planned out the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks shows anyway, so I knew exactly what to play, and I just did minimal talking, tried not to upset his audience, and got through that. But suddenly it was 12 years later, and I was waving goodbye. But yeah, I'm one of the best things I've done in my life, for sure.
Kind of been bad for the Rob the Bank brand, you know, going out afterwards and being like, I'm Rob the Bank, I was on Radio 1. And did you manage to carry on with a bit of momentum after Radio 1, or did it kind of dip a little bit? How was that transition for you?
I think anyone who says when they leave Radio 1, you know, doesn't feel some loss or it was weird. I think I knew for a year before I left, you know, they'd said, well, you know, they do that all the time. They change personnel. I was surprised I'd lasted 12 years, to be honest. But I knew with a year to go that I was sort of winding down towards my last shows. But yeah, I definitely, if you talk to my wife, she'll definitely say that I was kind of, something happened within me. I think you do miss that. And it's not like I was a nationally known, superstar breakfast DJ or something. I was like a specialist, you know, niche, nerdy part of it. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, we had Bestival still running at the same time, and my record label, and I've never sort of just done one thing and then probably maybe as a sort of insurance blanket or whatever it's called, safety net, so that I've always got something that I can say, yeah, I'm still doing this, by the way. Yeah, I may not be on Radio 1 anymore, but hey, check out my festival.
That'll probably soften the blow of the loss that you felt, because I think as a listener, when you get familiar with the DJs, you get familiar with their personalities and their music tastes, and it's quite special. I bet I can imagine you get people meeting you feeling like they know you, and you're like, okay, how does that feel?
Yeah, no, I love that. I still get people come up to me in the street and say, we used to listen to you in the car parks outside, you know, whatever club in Doncaster or Scotland, or yeah, we always used to dance around the car. And so yeah, lovely knowing there are people out there that it was a sort of time and a place. I mean, yeah, Radio 1 is still an amazing station, but you know, I don't think it has that sort of adventurous, slightly not naughty, but cheap. You know, it was quite adventurous and very freestyle, and we play whatever we wanted. You know, they literally say, right, there you are, you're live on air, and then you just play whatever you want, and there were no rules. No one told you had to play a playlist or the latest pop song. So yeah, total freedom.
But I think that's why I got so much inspiration from that era of radios, because like Jo Whiley was so bold in some of her choices of music. She brought on so many bands and artists. Then you had like Chris Moyles, who would literally burp down the microphone and be Chris Moyles. And then they would, like you said, be bold and adventurous with music and their selections and things as well. Like, I love that. I feel like that kind of made me want to be not just like your typical, hi and welcome to the radio. It wanted me to just let me be myself, authentically me. And I feel like I got a lot to thank that era of radio for. So I'm glad you were a part of that, because it is, for me, a golden era. So yeah, really, really.
Yeah, I think in their not in their defence, but yeah, Radio 1 at that time for a good decade just gave total free reign to the presenters, to the specialist nighttime presenters in a way that I don't think really exists anymore. So it's yeah, it was great time.
Okay, so moving on to sort of festivals and what's going on in your mind while you're traveling the world, while you're doing your thing. You're seeing festival after festival after festival after festival. Before Bestival even exists, are you mentally ticking a list of what should be at a festival, what shouldn't be at a festival, what would make the perfect festival? How does that go for you in your mind?
I mean, no, we weren't, but we were definitely ingesting all that knowledge and spying on people's festivals. Yeah, I mean, me and Josie started, we met at university in the first year, so we've been together since we were 18, and we've always worked together and lived together since then. So we started going to Glastonbury when we were kind of 18 together in my old rusty 2CV, jumping the fence, sorry, Michael Eavis. And then, you know, so yeah, and then going to like Reading or WOMAD or Big Chill and, you know, festivals in Europe and seeing them, and we still weren't thinking, oh, we definitely have to do our own. And then, so yeah, like I say, it wasn't until we were 30, and then we met our partners in Bestival and sat in a pub and drank too much wine and said, hey, we can do one of those festival things, and Bestival was kind of born out of that. So it wasn't a long-term plan that suddenly came into fruition. It was something that suddenly just popped up, and 6 months later we were opening the gates without a clue what we were doing, and yeah, there's no turning back.
Have you an avid festival goer, Verity? Been to many festivals?
I used to go to V Festival. That's right. The one I used to go to.
Okay, so that's kind of a good reference point, because I went to V, and I remember just being like, there were parts of it that I really, really loved. You know, whether you're for it or against it, people sitting down, having a smoke, having a chill, just relax to themselves, doing their thing. And then there was the corporate side of it. We're going to charge you £4 for a bottle of virgin cola, or like there's some real bad corporate moments of it. But like one of the biggest things I thought about it was very much about the music and hardcore sort of festival goers. Whereas the pictures I'm seeing from Bestival are all about sort of family and colour and just a really sort of chilled out vibe that I have never got from a festival before. Was this something that you were like, we need to incorporate music and family together to create harmony? And how was that process, like planning process for you?
Yeah, no, that is pretty much it. Yeah, we were running Bestival, and then we started on the Isle of Wight, you know, and that was the sort of very, very cool kind of 24-hour party people, stay up all night, raving, nutty festival. And then we started having person who said maybe we should create something a bit more family that we can actually take our own kids to. And we looked out there, and there wasn't really much happening like that. So yeah, Camp Bestival is that sort of fusion of everything, all the magic and spectacle and art and culture and music of Bestival, but in a much safer, steadier environment that's suitable for kids of all ages, super safe, and you know, your grandparents can go and find things to do. You can do stuff with a 2-year-old, a 16-year-old, whatever. Trying to tick a box for every single age group. So yeah, it's quite a challenge, but that's the idea, is, you know, just creating magical memories, which sounds a little bit Disneyland or cheesy, but actually from, you know, talking to our audience and doing research, that is, I think something like half our audience have said that's why they come, to create these magical memories. It's not to see Jess Glynn or Fatboy Slim or, you know, the Flaming Lips or whatever. It's to create these incredible memories. You know, some of them, well, a lot of people coming and camping for the first time, a lot of them coming to their first festival with their children, it's quite brave, this stuff, really. I know we think it's commonplace, but to get in a car or a camper van with your entire family and then spend 3 days in a canvas tent with not much sleep and everything else, it's a leap into the unknown for some people.
Yeah, the like you said, creating those memories and just experiencing it, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And
I think as parents, we all want to do something with our kids that has that sort of lifelong
wow factor.
Yeah, wow factor and lifelong memory. We do enough sort of telling them to do their homework or cooking them chips and beans and sort of mundane stuff. So to be able to get out into a field and create a whittle a wooden sword with your son, or paint fairy wings on your daughter, or sleep under the stars, it's sort of not things that you can do every day of the year. That's why Camp Bestival's there.
Yeah, collects them all in one space.
Yeah, in a very, very clever way as well. I think it's fantastic because you look at all these elements of what you have at Bestival, and if you it shouldn't work. It shouldn't work, like, to have all these things, but it seems to do so well. And we went to I think it was called Geronimo. It was a kids festival. We took our little one, and Mr. Tumble was there, and a lot of the CBeebies people were there, and Cook and Line, and all these people. And it was such a wonderful event. And I was kind of like, this, we need to do more of this. But so the fact that you've got like that, as well as, because you got Mr. Tumble and CBeebi stars coming to Bestival as well. So you have very much like have something for the kids and for every sort of aspect of music and festival lovers, which is wonderful. So well done. But the logistics of that, though, I guess, is a different story. How do you find all these people and make it work?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do. So Josie creates the whole wonderland of Camp Bestival and the way it looks and the way it feels, and then I sort of populate that with amazing musical acts and kids TV people, and Justin Fletcher, like Mr. Tumble, he's done every single one of the 15 Camp Festivals in Dorset, and both he'll have done both the Shropshire ones as well. So he's kind of a big stalwart of ours. So there's things that we know that we want to book, like Mr. Tumble, Mr. Maker, the kids TV stuff. Then there's the headliners, which we can't be too out there and adventurous, because the audience wants to they're not your bog standard festival audience, but they want stuff they can probably have a sing along to and dance around with their kids too. So that's kind of tricky, getting that balance right. And then there's a whole raft of stuff in between that, like Elvana, the Elvis-fronted Nirvana tribute act, which sounds terrible on paper, but is one of the biggest acts that we have, and things like Junior Jungle, which is two guys in lycra playing drum and bass to kids. It's those sort of things that actually end up being the highlights for some people. It's not necessarily rudimental or Primal Scream or the big headliners. It's the fun stuff that happens on the outskirts. The
things you wouldn't necessarily expect to come across.
Definitely.
Yeah. I love it.
I don't envy. I mean, I did a 24-hour podcast, and I just needed a venue and a camera and 24 guests, and that for me was like, it was a nightmare of a planning session, right? So to organise all of that, you got your marquees and your wires and your sound guys, and then you got the gates, and you got this, and you got the finance, and then you got the logos, and then there's the artwork. It's all got to fit up. I mean, is there a huge team of you guys that work on different aspects of that? How much of that is on your shoulders? Because
it's actually a tiny full-time team of about 6 of us, and then a huge army of people come festival season. So it sort of grows from this little kernel of 6 of us kind of directing it, and then comes hundreds, if not thousands. Well, it is thousands of people working on the festival across the actual weekend. So, and it's not bedlam and mayhem. It's everyone's got their area. You got the sound and lights guy. He books all the stages and sound and lights. He knows what he's doing. You got the talent booker that works with me to make sure we've got all the acts there. We've got the catering and trader lady who gets all of that sorted, and they report it all in. And so it's a lot of brain power for Josie, more than me probably. And then it all, the weekend comes and everyone turns up, hopefully on time, and it all opens. So it's it's a hell of a lot of moving parts, but it all comes together in this beautiful way, orchestrated.
Hats off to your team then, because you guys do a great job. I mean, I've chatted to Jason for the last few weeks. We've been great communication between us regarding this, and us coming to Bestival and doing our thing there with some cameras and some microphones, and you guys are doing a wonderful job. What about Bestival then? Its journey from the conception right up until now. What's that? What kind of journey has that been like for you?
Bestival lasted 15 or 16 years on the Isle of Wight, and then in Dorset, and then Camp Bestival, it's obviously 15 years in Dorset, and then 2 years in Shropshire. So, I mean, I think the beautiful thing for us about Camp Bestival is it's sort of stuck to its sort of ethos and stuck to its guns since we started it. So it's all about those magical moments and families and sort of music and the arts and stuff. And so we haven't had to follow any trends, and I think that's where, if you're running a festival for like 18 to 30-year-olds, you've got to kind of change it all the time if they're into grime or if they're into hip hop or, new metal or whatever. And with Camp Bestival, it's sort of stayed quite steady, the journey. So it's been, not too stressy. It's just been great. Just, seeing a lot of the same people turning in year in, year out. And, it's quite brave of us to start the second show last year in Shropshire, probably just off the back of a huge, the COVID nightmare and everything, and with the cost of living thing. So it's been, it has its challenges, but it's still, still my favourite thing to do.
Yeah, we missed Bestival last year. I can't remember why. I know I was absolutely like running around, but we missed it last year. I'm so. I think we may have spoken to you guys, but I didn't think we got planning in time to do something with you. So I'm so excited. But like for the feedback we got, because I know last summer was just so hot, so unbelievably hot. But the feedback I've seen from people really enjoyed it. What I love about the festival is the artwork as well. Who does your artwork? Because I think it's just phenomenal. Like all of the artwork and the drawings, fantastic.
Yeah, that's my lovely wife, Josie, who's I'm away camping at the moment, but you can see the even in our camper van, she's done all the sort of upholstery and this and stuff. So yeah, she's the artistic wonder kid. I sort of more music and fun stuff. And then, but yeah, Josie, I mean, ever since I started DJing, she's done the flyers, she's done the artwork for our record label. Wow. Yeah, she's an amazing illustrator.
Really is. I love the robot.
It's so bright. How did you and Josie meet?
Yeah, we met at Goldsmiths University when we were 18. So we literally in the first few months at the sort of, they had some summer ball, which sounds posher than it was. It was just a rave. But yeah, we met there, and I thought, oh right, it's just, I don't know, this sounds awful if I say just another girl, but I mean, as fresh as we term or whatever, and everyone was like enjoying meeting girls and boys and stuff, and then yeah, just something clicked, and yeah, 32 years later we're still together. So yeah, I don't know what the magic formula is, but something clicked.
Seems to be working really well.
Congratulations.
Yeah. The fact that you guys are out in a camper van as well. Where are you guys at the moment? Are you on holiday, or like are you?
No, we're not really on holiday. We're on the sunny Isle of Wight, about 4 miles away from our house. So yeah, we just got some friends, and we decided the beautiful thing about the Isle of Wight is when the sun comes out, you don't really need to be anywhere else, because we've got some amazing beaches, got some fantastic stuff for kids to do, and might sound a bit boring, but actually we've had 6 months of crap weather and sitting inside watching Netflix, so to be able to get outside in the sun, and the kids can go surfing and mountain biking, and we can eat seafood in the sunshine. It's like, yeah, amazing to be out. So it's kind of lazy camping, like the closest campsite to our house, but yeah, nice to be by the sea.
Sounds ideal, honestly. I feel like I could do a bit of that tranquility at the moment, like just be out there. Last night I was like, I went to my friend's just for a board game night and a few beers, and he's like, what? And I was like, I just missed that. I miss just turning up and having a few beers and playing board games with your mates. Is that all? Or is that too much to ask for? He's like, no, come round. It's fine, absolutely fine. So that's what we did last night.
Come on down. There's a free pitch right next to us, so I'll save it for you if you jump in your car.
That's great. I'll bring the board games.
Pause 1 second, Alex, while I just turn the heating off.
Absolutely, yeah. Please do, yeah.
Sorry, the sun is actually come up now, and the camper van's getting a bit sweaty.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool.
I can't wait to get out in the sun. I can't. We won't be too much longer. 20 more minutes, and then we'll be done. But yeah, this year's festival, Verity, you're going to be going. Are you excited?
I'm going to be going. I'm excited. Yeah, I've not been before, so I'm not really sure what to expect. Or
Are you coming
excited,
for the weekend
though.
or just for a day?
I'm coming for as long as I'm allowed to come for.
I think they're giving us weekend tickets, press tickets, I think, for the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, we do create Camp Bestival as the sort of full 4-day adventure. We do sell day tickets, but we love people coming for the 4 days, because the Thursday is all about bedding yourself in, getting yourself set up, getting your camp nice. We don't put any big music stuff on, just so that there's no distractions from just getting everyone familiar. It's, time for the kids to check out the site and know where they're going. And then the party kind of starts from Friday morning and doesn't really finish until Sunday night. So it's a lot of fun, and it starts early. I mean, I think people have this vision that everyone, the campsites will be these sort of screaming hordes of screaming kids in tents, but actually they're quiet as a mouse, because everyone's so knackered from getting there, and then everyone's knackered from having such a good time that by about midnight, 1 a.m, the campsite's really quiet, and then it's normally sort of 8ish things start happening, and then from 9 we open the site, which is quite unusual for a festival. So most festivals start getting going in the mid-afternoon, but we from 9 a.m. we got hundreds of activities on, and so it's amazing to see everyone piling out the campsites, getting stuck in early, and then if you've got the staying power, then people are still there for the headliners, and then getting in bed after that. But I think it's some people probably just love doing the daytime stuff. Other people have more fun in the evening with their teenagers or whatever. But it's
like you said, it caters for all, doesn't it?
Yeah,
which is amazing. Your lineup's pretty incredible this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, like I said, to tick the box. Once kind of leaves another person's Ed Sheeran, or it's like, so you do get you get people who are like, oh, who are Primal Scream? I've never heard of them, and then other people are like, Primal Scream, my favourite band in the world ever. I can't believe you booked them. So it's sort of really hard to everyone in the 21st century seems to expect the lineup to be exactly what is on their Spotify playlist, and if it's not that, they'll be unhappy. But yeah, so that's why with things like Primal Scream, Rudimental, Human League, Groove Armada, you try and really go across the spectrum from pop to DJ to indie to and try and tick all the boxes. But it's I'm pretty pleased with the overall picture, from Spice Girl Mel C to Ella Henderson, Popular Yourself, Badly Drawn Boy, and some of the stuff further down, like the 17 Christmas special, which is going to be fun. We're going to create like a whole Christmas wonderland in the Big Top for that. So
I am so gutted. I'm so sad about all of this. So terribly depressed, because I was like, oh right. So I wrote to Bestival. I was like, we should do something. The Shrewsbury Biscuit is out there. We cover festivals. It's what we do. And I was like, and they were like, and you guys were like, yes, okay, we'd love to do that. And we can open up a stage as well. I was like, even better. And so I ran to my wife, look what we've got to do. And she was like, we're in Turkey, you idiot. And I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And so
fly back.
I have to come back. Yeah. So I was like, and Verity had only been with us, what, a month? Something like that, 4 weeks?
I'm not even sure it was that long, to be honest.
I was like, yo, Verity, do you fancy going on behalf of the Biscuit and standing up in front of a few hundred people and then opening up a stage at Bestival? She was like, sure. And then I seen the lineup and I'm like, oh my God, no way. Sam Ryder's got to be there. Like, so thank you, Verity.
Very bad timing, Alex. As always, next year.
Yeah, there is. And I'll make sure my wife does not book it a holiday off during Bestival next year. But Verity, you're going to do a great job. I know you are. What are you most excited about on the lineup?
Okay, hang on. Mel C. I was in a Spice Girls tribute act, obviously. Because of my hair, I was Mel B, but I'm so excited to see her. Sam Ryder, I was saying to Alex before, I was following him on TikTok when he was first on TikTok. And I can remember watching his videos going, is he lip syncing? Is he lip syncing? That is amazing. Is he lip syncing? It took me ages. And then obviously he exploded. I was like, oh no, that is him. Yeah, he's incredible. Fern Cotton. Oh, there's just so much on there. Groove Armada. Sarah Cox, like I said, I feel like I know her. She woke me up every morning when I went to school and college and stuff.
Yeah. And are you into your cold water swimming or paddleboarding, anything like that?
So I've got a little... Instead of a New Year's resolution, I came up with a list of 101 things I wanted to do this year. Why not? Cold water swimming's on it. I've done paddleboarding. I'm not great at it, but I did enjoy it. So, yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the most exciting things about this year is that we had a lake last year, but we've moved to an even bigger lake on the site this year, which is going to have a lot of wild swimming, kayaking, paddleboarding, raft building. So that's going to be a real hub.
Oh, that's amazing.
And there's going to be saunas and ice baths on the side of the lake. So you can either get frosty or sweaty, whichever you want.
I'm going to do both. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do as much as I can.
Yeah.
We got cameras and we got microphones and we can document as much of this as we possibly can, just to show people, like, because we've got listeners from all around the world, from varying demographics that may not know that Bestival's happening, because we've got listeners in Australia, as we found out on our last show. And it'd be nice to show them what's going on here in Shropshire. And, I think it's really interesting that you chose Shropshire as a place to come, because we love Shropshire. That's why we do what we do. But what made you choose this county to bring Bestival?
Well, that's a good question. I think Shropshire and Staffordshire, to be fair, because the site is kind of split down the middle between Staffordshire and Shropshire. So, they chose us. I think we someone tipped us off about the site, which is obviously an incredible site. Weston Park, for anyone that's not been there, is like, it's got one of the only surviving pleasure gardens designed by the UK's best ever gardener, Capability Brown. So it's an absolutely stunning parkland and pleasure garden and woodland and the lakes that we talked about. And it's, the transport connections, the logistical sort of stuff is really, really easy from where it is. And it's, we've obviously been on the South Coast for 15 years, and we felt like that it was just about time for us to spread our wings a little bit and embrace a new audience. And so that's obviously the concept behind it, is that Dorset caters for a lot of the South, and Camp Bestival Shropshire, caters for the Midlands, the North. But, some people from Bournemouth are going to Shropshire. Some people from Scotland are still coming to Dorset. So it's, we're still sort of finding our feet. But I mean, for a first year, last year was incredible, having so many people from, our biggest sort of hotspots are Shrewsbury, Telford, Wolverhampton, Birmingham, now we're going up into kind of Chester and Scotland and sort of out into Wales and stuff. So, we're really growing that audience, and we know we're not as well known up there as we are in the south. So, it's exciting to have to win the audience over as well, and get the word out.
I feel like you look at the photography from Festival's Gone, and kind of the ethos behind what you guys are doing, and the artwork and the chilled vibe that you give. I feel like it'd be hard to say no to something like Bestival, if I'm honest, because I'm genuinely I'm excited. Good turkey, don't get me wrong. I need a holiday, but I'm kind of like, I feel like this is kind of my jam. This is right where my soul belongs. Is a festival like this where my kid is enjoying himself. He's 8 years old, and I know he would absolutely lose his mind if I bought him Bestival tickets. And then I could go and have fun too. But like, why if you watch the kid, I'm going to go and party in the tent over here. And at the same time, we can party as a family too. It's just perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 2024. No, 2024. Yeah. What year are we in now? 23.
23.
God, I don't even know. I've been camping too long. But yeah, no, 2024, Alex, we will see you there.
Be great. I love it. Verity, we need to set you some challenges as well for things. What do you reckon would be good challenges for Verity to do, Rob? People to speak to, places, footage to get, or challenges for her. I mean, we'll have to ask our audience. I don't know. We'll have to set you a list of.
Well, I think some easy ones to tick off would be to see Verity in the ice bath.
Yes,
that'd be a challenge. Maybe a wild run. We do wild runs from the campsite if you're into your jogging and stuff.
I'm writing these down, Verity.
Maybe try and get a photo. Get a photo with Mr. Tumble. Mr. Tumble, like we talked about, he when he first came to Camp Bestival, he wasn't anywhere near as famous as he is now, and so he could stroll around afterwards and do autographs and stuff. But after about 2 years, he turned into Elvis for kids, and now can't leave the enclosure without a golf buggy and full security sort of escorting him like the President of the United States. So I'd say getting a photo with Justin Fletcher, aka Mr. Tumble, would be quite a good challenge.
Okay.
I reckon an interview with Sarah Cox would be good as well.
Yeah,
big hero of yours.
My mate, Sarah. She doesn't know me, but she's definitely my mate.
Sarah Cox.
She's always game for anything like that, Sarah. So she's great. I'm sure she'd be up for that.
Okay. Amazing. I'm excited for you, Verity.
And then maybe come to one of my meditation classes in the slow motion area if you want to chill out for a bit.
Yes, please count me in.
Fantastic.
Oh, I'm so excited. What a weekend.
That'd be just rub it in, Verity.
I will. You're just gonna have to deal with it.
I threw out some questions on our Biscuit page. I said mentioned that you're coming on the show, Rob, and said that if anybody's got any questions about Bestival or yourself. And Mark Fielden, who organised Cords Crush Cancer, he says, please pass on my thanks to him and his team for supporting Cords Crush Cancer by donating tickets to last year's event. They were very grateful of that. They auctioned them off and raised some great money for Lingen Davis Cancer Fund. So well done, Mark. Well done, you guys, for supporting that great charity.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, keep up the good work, guys. That's brilliant.
Nick Jones as well. He says he's signed up to be a charity golf buggy taxi driver at Camp Bestival. Can you ask Rob if he needs any more? If they're officially called Charity Concierge, he believes.
Yeah. It's still going, and I don't know the exact way to sign up. But yeah, if you already know how to do that, get in touch because we definitely run that facility still. Yeah.
So what's this? Like you drive celebrities around on the golf buggies?
No.
Well, I've got Sarah Cox. I'm taking her away.
No. It's for people that want to be taken from their cars to the campsite and not have to lug their stuff across the fields on their own. So they get in a golf buggy, and I think, I'm not quite sure how it works, but some of the money or all of the money goes to charity from the golf buggy service. And so we must use volunteer drivers by the sounds of it.
I'd love that. I'd be like Crazy Taxi. Whoa! Down the hill. Well, Camp Bestival this year looks fantastic. I know we've said it a lot, and I'm not just saying that because we got Rob the Bank on the show. It genuinely looks amazing. And from the moment I first saw it, actually, last year, I was so gutted we couldn't cover it. But like from the aesthetics, from the backdrop, from how it looks, feels, and from the lineup too, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I mean, I know it's been going for a long time down south, but to bring it to Shropshire, fantastic stroke of genius, because I feel like it fits right in with what we do here. You know, it's very laid back. So I'm excited for you, Verity. You're gonna have such a good time.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's gonna be wicked.
Right, so if you guys want to book tickets, go to the Camp Bestival website, I guess is the best bet, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, campbestival.net is probably the quickest way of getting those. So yeah, full weekends are selling like hotcakes, and we've just put day tickets on sale. Like I say, we think the full weekend is the way to do it, but if you can only afford or can only get the time off work for a day or two, then that's also a great way of enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I know it's Easter Sunday, the sun's out, and you've taken time out of this beautiful day to come and talk to us, and you too, Verity, of course. But this has been so great chatting to you. Verity, have you got any more questions for Rob before we sign off?
No. Do you know what I was thinking? When you first started saying how you got into sort of DJing and stuff, you obviously live close to the beach and you were doing your beach like DJing sessions with your cassette tapes and stuff. If you didn't have that opportunity at your fingertips, what road do you think you'd have gone down?
That's a great question.
Because you've done amazing things, and you're in a place now where you're doing such big and fantastic things, and you've got bold ideas and you're putting them into action, and it's really fantastic. But it all started off with that young teenager loving getting people together and getting that atmosphere going. If you hadn't have discovered, what do you think you'd be doing?
That's a really good question. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, at school, I wasn't great at anything. So for anyone still at school and thinking we're not great at anything, don't worry. Things can stick. Thing about being a journalist, but I didn't really know what a journalist truly was, and I did end up being a music journalist as part of what I did. So that kind of happened, and if maybe a journalist.
Yeah, that fits well. That was a great question, though. It's a great thinker. That is. What would you? Yeah. Well done, Verity.
Thought about it a while ago when you said about beach discos. I was like, that sounds amazing.
Amazing. And maybe that's a good way to end the show. Guys, if you had done things a little bit differently when you were younger, would you be doing what you're doing now? Do you think what you're doing right now is your destiny? Because, things could have been so much different if you'd have made a little bit of a different choice. I know that if I'd have realised when I was younger that I could speak behind the microphone and do this thing, I wouldn't be where I am now. That's for sure. I'll be a bit further on in life, I think. But
I'm just thinking, Rob, if you didn't grow up by the beach, would you have still been able to have those gatherings somewhere? I don't know. It's just.
I mean, it wasn't just the beach. In the summer, I liked doing. Yeah, we liked doing them on the beach. But no, I had a band that I was in, and we were doing like gigs in friends' houses and stuff, and sort of DJing at people's houses. So yeah, it was kind of anywhere where we could have a party and play some music. And I can see that in my 16-year-old, actually 17-year-old now, but he's exactly the same. He doesn't go anywhere without his sound system and his tunes, and he's sort of that's like a rite of passage for teens, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Good.
Well, this has been fantastic. We'll let you go, Rob, and enjoy your day. Verity, thank you so much for being amazing, and I can't wait to see what you develop from Bestival. I think you're going to have a great time. And thank you to the listeners as well for listening to this and watching this as well. We're going to throw this on YouTube. Rob, stick behind for a sec. I will play the outro and we'll say goodbye properly. But for you guys that are tuning in, thank you so much for supporting the biscuit, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Thank you.
Right, guys, thank you so much for listening to that great episode. Thank you, Rob, as well, for speaking to us on the show, and Jason as well, who's organised everything backstage. Me and him have been emailing for a few weeks now to organise not just the interview you just heard, but the us coming to Bestival and representing the biscuit and Shropshire in a big bad way. So we are really looking forward to that. And if you are listening to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast for the first time, please give us a follow on social media. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, and we're also on TikTok. Just look for the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. But also playable on all home devices. So that's your Alexa, your Google Homes, and Siri, all that sort of stuff. Just say, I want to listen to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast, and it'll play it. So thank you for tuning into this episode, and welcome to our community. We love you very much, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.